All right, it is officially 4 o'clock Verizon Standard Time. We'll go ahead and call to order the July 15th meeting of the Finance Committee. In attendance, Alderman Parsley, Alderman Messick, Alderman Crossland, Director Burrows, as well as Mayor Hobbs. All right, if you've had a moment to review the minutes of the June meeting, we'll look for a motion to approve. Actually, let's approve the agenda first. I apologize.
I got a couple additions to the agenda from the Safety Committee yesterday, which Public Works information is in your packet for the trucks. Also, we have the Family Counseling 90-day that we approved yesterday that I'd like to put on there. And then I thought the police was going to be here, but since they're not, we won't add them.
All right, noted. Any other changes?
We're gonna table item 5.
Yes, and let's remove number 5. And what that is review the firefighter pay calculation. What we decided we're going to do is have some internal meetings inside the fire department to get everybody's buy-in on what we're proposing before we ask for approval, so that all firemen, and what this is, it's to do away with the calculation that we currently have and go to a 24-hour calculation, so it just is a little easier for everybody to understand their pay, but we want to have some internal meetings with HR before we do this. So, and that's probably my fault for getting it in a rush here. So we'd like to remove item 5.
Also noted. All right.
Thank you.
Alderman Parsley, Alderman Messick. You guys are okay? We'll
I'll be an eye on that. So if we both voted for it, you know, we're okay.
Yeah.
Do we need to make the motion to be?
Yeah, I think we're good. All right, 3-0 to approve the agenda. All right, now, the minutes from June's meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All right, 3-0 to approve the minutes from June. All right, public comments. Anybody?
Oh, wow. I do need to go backwards just one little bit here. I needed to add water and sewer rates. We changed the rates from 36% to 35% for approval, and I did forget that as well.
So we all voted yes to that too,
Yeah.
didn't we?
No, I don't think so.
Vote yes to
I'm
what?
voting yes. We're just gonna put it on the agenda, right?
Yeah, put it on the
It's going to
agenda.
the agenda.
Yeah.
We all voted for it,
Yeah. that's what I thought.
Sorry, guys, I forgot about that.
So a third added item.
Third added item.
Yeah.
So
Jeff, I'm glad you showed up. Almost forgot you, buddy.
we retroactively approve that amendment
Yeah.
to the agenda.
Thank you, guys. Sorry.
All right. Given that there's no public comments, item 5 is tabled. Item 6, equipment request for the fire department. Chief?
Howdy do. This is what we discussed last night. Just to give you a better picture of it. Filled some ink today. Oh, I did want to.
Safety committee, right?
Sir?
Safety committee, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. There's another picture of it, another picture of it. Here, you want any pictures of it? You want some pictures of it there? You want any pictures of it, sir?
Sure. You got extras?
I don't have an extra one of these, though.
No,
This is
that's
just,
fine. Just good facts.
I do have an extra one. So, get things up here. So the first thing I'd like to discuss is the purchase of a used fire engine. It's a Pierce Velocity Pumper, it's a 2010 model. And as we discussed last night in the safety committee, the goal of this is this engine would replace our current reserve engine, which is currently out of service. And we'd put this in as a frontline engine and move our current other engine to a reserve. And then when we purchase our other engine, which is also in the works, then this engine here would become a reserve engine, and that would give us 4 custom cab engines for our department and make our lives a lot safer, a lot better. This is, like I said, this is a 2010. Whenever we went down there and checked it out the first time, it was a great riding truck. And Mr. Hollingsworth, Mr. Parsley, and Mr. Price went down and checked it out the second time. And they looked at it, and James took his diagnostic machine down there with him and hooked his diagnostic machine to the truck. And in the 10 years that truck's been in service, it had 4 codes, which were minor, 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 and minor. So that was out of a 10-year history of that truck running in South Florida, it had 4 codes on it. They want to sell it to us for $178,000. Last night, the safety committee approved, I think it was $190,000. We take the other, I guess that's $18,000, and use that to purchase, radio, some of those other equipment items to fully put it in service, which I've already reached out to the people that we usually do business with to get some quotes on some of the pieces of equipment we'll need for it. Just waiting for those quotes to come back.
So, once this truck arrives, the only thing we're doing to it's outfitting it?
Yes, sir.
And it's ready to hit the road?
Yes, sir. It's ready to hit the road as soon as it gets here. All we gotta do is put our air packs in it, put our equipment on it, put our people on it, and we're ready to go.
What does this truck cost brand new?
Brand new today, probably 1.5, 1.6 million.
This is the upper end. What we've been looking at is probably Cadillac-ish version.
Yes, sir.
Talking about around $1 million. This is the Mercedes. This was the highest, high end of equipment even today.
When it comes to fire trucks, Captain Chambers can tell you, Pierce Manufacturing is the best fire truck out there, just about.
I'm all for this, okay? But it raises a question in the back of my mind. You know where I'm going with this, I'm pretty sure. But
And it's red.
if we can buy $1.5 million truck for $177,000 and be tickled with it, why don't we buy a $1 million new truck? Why don't we find another good used truck like this one?
I guess we could, but, I mean, this was we looked at 7 or 8 different trucks that day on that lot. And this, of all those 7 or 8 trucks we looked at, this was the best thing that they offered on that lot for this year model. Now, we can go up to like a 2022 or 2023, but we're talking a heck of a lot more money, and we don't know what the history is, and all the other things. And the truck we're designing right now with our committee and ourselves, it's a brand-new engine, designed by us to, help us for the next 25 years. This is only gonna last 15 years, but the new one will last 25 years, just like the other new one we have.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about the new one
No,
today,
sir.
but I don't see why we don't consider that. I mean, $1 million here and $1 million there, pretty soon that adds up to a little bit of money,
Yes, sir, it
you
does.
know?
But I think with what we're designing on the other truck, that gives our department, plus the other truck has a 2,000 gallon per minute pump. This has a 1,500 gallon per minute pump, and that other truck helps us meet our capability for ISO. So if we go to a fire, we take 2 engines, we're taking 3,500 gallons a minute of water with us, and we're good to go. We don't need anything else to come with us. Whereas right now to do that, a lot of times we're taking 3 engines to meet that requirement. This,
So in reality, Chief, what we're looking at here is like the bigger cities. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
Just as bigger cities has money appropriated every 10 years probably to change their trucks out. If I'm not mistaken, that truck had 77,000 miles.
Yes, sir, it does.
That would average about what,
I figured it up, it's
7,000.
7,000 miles a year, which is,
Right, in Florida.
right,
In
and which is,
Florida.
and they run EMS, they run, you know, full, this was a paramedic engine, so they're running EMS calls 90% of the time, 10 or 15 of those a day. We're running, you know, on a good day, we're
And-
running 5 calls, on a bad day, we're running 3.
And what time that I was down there, well, of course, I didn't look, but this was probably the very best truck, one of the best
Yes,
as
sir,
far
it
as
was.
what,
Yes, sir, it was.
that was down there. But I can't remember if there was any more of the Pierce trucks down there.
There was another one down there, but it was, I would, you know, be blunt, it was probably the ugliest fire truck I ever laid eyes on in my life.
Would that have been the white one?
Yes, sir,
It had to be white.
Yes, sir, it was.
Yes, I will agree with you on
Let me give you a
that.
demonstration. So, this one has mirrors that are right here, right? The ugly white one had mirrors that extended out from the front of the cat truck about 3.5 feet. And they looked, it was.
Well, I don't see how you would drive it, it'd be such
Me
a
either, me
strange.
either.
But as a matter of fact, after I seen that, a few days later, I seen a motorhome.
Yes, sir.
That was
Yes, sir.
designed
You're
like that.
exactly right.
And I thought, who would want that? But is that what this was also? Was it a Pierce?
Yes, sir, that other one was, the ugly
Okay.
white one was the Pierce too, yes, sir.
But I do distinctly remember that.
But I just say, you know, dollar for dollar, what we looked at that day, this was the best truck on the lot. And that's a heck of a price for
Well-
the type of truck we're getting.
Right, but I do understand where Mark is coming from right there.
And we could look at that, but I'm just saying, you know, if we, then we're gonna do this every, you know, this is gonna last us 15. We buy another one, it's a 22 model, let's say, or 23 model, we're still gonna be in the $500,000 or $600,000 range for a used truck. I'd rather spend $1 million for a brand new truck designed by us, for us.
And my understanding, as far as the place that we went to look at this, was one of the largest in the nation.
Yes, sir, they are.
Or
Yes, sir, they are.
they are refurbished.
Yeah, when we were down there talking to them, we went through their maintenance bay and they had a truck from, it was either Idaho or Montana that they trucked from Montana all the way to Brindley Mountain for those guys at Brindley Mountain to work on it.
Yeah.
And that was like $9,000 to truck it from Montana to Alabama and then $9,000 back to Montana when they
You
get
know,
trucks.
they had a very, very good setup
They are
there.
very, very good people down there. Outstanding people.
What's the Oscar, chief?
178. Now, we're asking 190. The 178's for the truck. The other 18 is for equipment, you know, we have to get a radio installed, all those other
You
kind of
mean out
things.
of the 12?
Yeah, the other 12, yes, sir, I'm
Right.
sorry, the other 12.
It'll be up to 190. He will go over 190. Hopefully he'll spend a little less, but he goes up to 190.
Just tighten them up.
All right. We have a motion on the purchase.
I'll make the motion.
I'll say.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So 3-0.
Yes, sir. The second item I have,
The one thing, though, we jumped ahead about the new fire truck. I would encourage you just to know the field a little bit when we go to talk about that.
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
The second item I have is, I brought the quotes we talked about from last night for the 2 trucks that are already in our budget. We have $105,000 in our budget for 2 support vehicles.
One support, one burrito truck.
I didn't say that. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it looks good to see the fire truck
I
at
say more like Taco Bell.
Stone Ford or Melody, or Medley's or something. I think it looks good to see them out like that.
Company burrito truck.
I'm all for it. I guess you're not.
No, I think it's a wonderful
Okay,
thing.
I think it is too. My goodness, he's a white truck.
Well,
on front.
but I do understand, the public area does not understand.
Well, you know, believe it or not, in the 10 years I've been working here, I was over in Tullahoma one time, getting a truck worked on. It was one of our smaller SUVs. And in all the places I've been at, doing whatever I've been doing, that was the only time I got pushback from a citizen. What are you doing over here? Oh, getting the truck worked on. Well, it's a waste of money, a waste of time. That's how you feel that way. I need the truck worked on, these are the guys that do it.
Well, there's no different than the police all piling into a restaurant or somewhere, they can get, and nothing wrong with that.
You gotta eat.
You gotta eat,
You
yeah.
gotta eat.
And they got 12 of them parked in the parking lot.
Yeah, I got no problems at all with that, I think it's good.
No.
Bill, a little shot across the bow or something, wasn't it?
Bill, how'd you get drugged in there?
No, I did not mean that, chief. But these other two vehicles, Connor Hickerson did a lot of research and checked a lot of folks in the state of Tennessee for their Tennessee contract deals. So the first one is, that he came up with, which I think is a wonderful deal, is a red 2025 Dodge Ram 1500 4x4 crew cab for $35,491. And then the other one that we're gonna use for our captain's vehicle is a 2025 GMC Sierra heavy duty 2500 series 4-wheel drive crew cab for $49,000. We looked at other ones on the GMC side, the Chevrolet side, they were considerably higher, and the same thing on the Dodge side. And the hard part about both of them was finding a red vehicle. If you found a red vehicle, we couldn't get it till late 2026 or something. So we looked up and got the Dodge. We'll get the white GMC, and then we'll wrap the white GMC in the style I showed you last night, which we'd use the hood and the roof as the regular color of the truck, and then we'll wrap the sides up in the front and the back, and put a red camper shell on it, and good to go. So these are already in our budget. I just need approval to move forward with these two trucks and put it on the agenda for February 5th, and go from there. Or August 5th, excuse me.
You know, for years I've sat at these meetings and I voted against all the new everything because we didn't have the money, you know? And I'll just tell you, it feels good to be able to buy some new stuff and not worry about having the money.
Yes, sir,
It does. So, I'm gonna,
We greatly appreciate it, I promise you that.
you want a motion?
Was that it?
It was it.
Okay. What about a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So 3-0 to pass.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Chief.
Just don't buy no white truck.
Anything else?
No, sir, I have nothing else. I really appreciate everybody's help, from the mayor,
Well-
the safety committee, the board of mayor and aldermen. We've been, I've told the mayor a few times that, we've been asking for this kind of thing for
Yeah.
9 or 10 years. And it's really great to get here and be able to do this both ways. Really appreciate it.
Well, this has nothing pertaining to you, but I was looking at the quote for the two knuckle brooms. Are they black or red?
They'll be white.
They are, well, it says red.
I think they're white.
Are you trying to piss Mark off?
Well, no, I was wondering why this for Springfield says red. And that's what he needs, isn't it?
The red knuckle bone.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
For the chief's truck.
All right, moving along. Public Works item added. That is the knuckle boom trucks.
Yeah, the public works item that we asked, it came from safety last night. And we're asking to buy 2 new knuckle booms. One was in the budget, one was not. The reason for going ahead and getting 2 is they're a little smaller, they get on the roads a little better, we don't have to hire CDL drivers for those. So there's an opportunity to manage employee pay down a little. And we are going to sell our oldest one, and that would give us 4 new ones in a period of 2.5 years. So, that should satisfy George's needs for the next 4 to 5 years, and the cycle will start again. So that's why we decided to go ahead and we got a little discount by buying 2 at the same time versus 1 by itself. And one, you guys talked last night, and we can, talk about where we want the funds to come from tonight. But one was in his budget. One we would like to take out of the sanitation budget. We have $700,000 or so in that fund balance that's not allotted this year. So we can take one or both. it's either way, but we have the money. One is already in the budget, the other, we have a fund balance to cover it.
If we purchase these two out of the sanitation fund, that means we're basically purchasing the fire truck we just talked about out of the general fund with money that was allotted.
Close,
So we pretty much break even on the general fund.
if you look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, but it's two department changes, but overall monies.
Overall
yes,
monies.
yes, is what you're saying.
As far as the budget
Yes.
that we talked about, we're still balanced.
Yes.
See, I don't understand why we have $700,000 in sanitation.
Well, I'm kinda like
Yeah.
Mark on that. I don't either. Why do we keep that much in that?
So the
Is there-
sanitation fund is an accumulation fund of all the fees that go into, that are on the water and the sewer bill. They've collected over
Yeah.
time. That's why we decided not to increase the garbage can rates this cycle, because we had the extra money versus Republic going up on our pricing of a couple bucks a can. And that's what that fund is for, right? I mean, when you can eat monies, when your vendors go up versus pass it on to the citizens, you need a fund balance in there. And that's what that is.
I just don't remember it ever being that much.
Well, it's grown in the last couple of years. I can't put my finger on exactly what the increases were, but there again, it will decrease a little this year, not just by the purchase, but because we are eating the trash fund versus raising the can rate to the citizens.
I'm not complaining about having
Yeah.
extra money. Don't take it that, I'm just.
No, there again, I'd have to look back 2 or 3 years to start telling you how the cycle grows, because it's been growing about $100,000 or so a year. Okay? And hence why we didn't increase the can rate when it was increased to us. So,
Okay.
Okay, so, I'll go ahead and, I want to make this motion with the funds coming out of the sanitation fund.
Go ahead.
So that's kind of specific, but I do make that motion.
I'll second.
I'll vote aye.
3-0?
And I will stand corrected. The body is black.
yeah. I really wish we quit talking about colors around Mark. He's very sensitive.
I know, but he's the one that got it all started over that $3,000.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
That was Ford's $3,000. That was Ford Motor Company trucks.
I swear I've seen a white truck out the water, at the fire department a time or two. I know I have. I've seen some white
we've got
SUVs.
grays.
We have a white
Well,
SUV right
well,
now.
Yeah, but we've
Got a gray
We're going to red now. I got it.
basically turned the white to red with the new lettering and stuff. We're trying.
Our water director is sitting in here, and yesterday, I think it was, y'all were driving the Parks and Recreation vehicle.
Yeah.
We were having to borrow one of their vehicles, about ready to borrow some mules and some wagons.
We intended to take this meeting and ask for some new vehicles in it, but since our rate increase didn't pass, we're kind of on hold. So we're borrowing vehicles within the city, which I have to tell you, the city directors work extremely well together. Water and sewer vehicles are in the 90s. They've gone down on him. He's out on 4 or 5 trucks right now. And it's been very good to see them work together to help him keep going until we can get him some more vehicles. So,
Appreciate it.
yeah, I mean, it's really been a good effort citywide to help each other right here.
All right, next item is the
So-
90-day Family Counseling Center.
Yeah,
You just say aye.
so you guys remember it from last night?
Yes.
It's the first responder counseling that went delinquent while we're working on the overall picture for the city. And so they came up with a 90-day cost so that we don't turn employees away, and that's $5,130.
We're going to go ahead and,
We have to advertise it, and Anthony's working on getting that in the paper. We're gonna try to bring that back up in September.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Entertain a motion.
sure, why not?
I'll second.
Those 3 ayes.
All right. 3-0.
And being that that one is a committee award, We won't have to take it to them online. I'll go ahead and get that paperwork and get it signed, and we'll get that implemented this week, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a very good program, especially since it's being used quite a bit.
Yep.
All right, and the last added item, discussion on water rate increase?
So basically, we provided water rates. Director Perry, if you want to come up, we can talk about that with him. We took the failure of the 36% increase down to 35 so that we can approach it again with Bowman and ask that it passes. You know, it passed in here, it passed in the budget. I was at a mayor's conference last week when I messed up Mr. Floyd's vehicle. But if you haven't read the article about Watertown, where they had to come in and they did a 82% rate increase to make them whole, please understand that mayor's been there 40 years and they just haven't been increasing rates, and that's a big jump for everybody.
Had a 1% increase, if I read it right, I think in 10, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
And, yes, sir.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Does this increase include Hillsville?
So I'd have to look at the.
Well, I
So-
mean, that's something that we
So
need
this-
to definitely find out on.
Well, Hillsville, we're under contract with Hillsville, okay? There is a time coming up to where they will get increases, and Hillsville
Yeah,
has actually
but that's
had.
never happened, Joey.
No, Hillsville has actually been increased when the
They
citizens
have.
of Manchester haven't.
They have increased,
They-
where they hadn't been charged.
No,
I mean,
we have charged them. We have a contract that's very specific to them. And what I'm trying to say is they've had increases when we weren't passing them on to the city of Manchester. That there's a big difference.
Okay, what years?
Well, I don't have it in front of me, but I can get it for you.
Okay.
Last increase for here, I think, was 2023.
That was brought to my attention
So
about
the
that.
way that I read it, and I'd have to look at the time frame again for it to come up. Just because we increased the city of Manchester, we cannot increase Hillsville until their time is allotted to increase it.
So we have a separate contract with Hillsville?
Yes, and theirs is written that when we receive an increase from Duck River, we pass that on to them then. And what's happened here is we've ate that increase in the city and not passed it on to the citizens. So if there's been an increase in 2024, then Hillsville received that.
Okay, so we can increase Hillsville along with Duck River,
Is-
whether we choose to do it inside the city or not?
And that's exactly.
And that's
what
what's
we-
happened?
Yes, that's the way the contract is written, is as we see an increase, it is passed on to our, what you would call the next supplier in the food chain. And we can make a decision internally whether we increase it to our residents or not, kind of like trash. Same principle.
So when is that contract, how often do we renegotiate that?
We have 4 more years currently. The last one expired, and then it's in the 5-year part because we didn't renew it.
Oh, so it auto,
It auto renews for 5 years and gives everybody time to negotiate.
so between now and 29, the only
Yes.
time we can increase Hillsville is when we get a Duck River
But,
increase?
Absolutely.
but here we are increasing 35% to our taxpaying dollars, to our taxpayers out here. See,
Well,
Here's something that I'm sure you understand, but the state is not gonna let the water department get in bad shape.
So,
They're not gonna let them run a negative year after year after year after year. Otherwise, if we just ignore it, the state's gonna come in and they're gonna say, Jeff, you get out of the way, we're running this, and here's what your water bill's gonna be. The city can't give the water department any money. Well, I mean, technically,
We do grant stuff with them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
so the water department is a standalone entity that the state won't let get in bad shape.
Exactly.
So they need to increase their water bills or whatever they charge, so that there's a lot of work's gotta be done still. And they don't have the reserves to do it. ARC grant's gone. Most of the grants we got earlier are gone, so it's gotta come somewhere. So, I'm just saying that
I understand, but what year was the last was the
last
last
water
water?
rate increase?
Yes,
23?
23, and that's 2 years ago.
Yes, and it was only raised roughly, I think, $2 on the minimum bill, on the water side. On the wastewater, I think it was probably the same. I don't have the sheet in front of me, but, I mean, the 30, if you can do the research on Watertown. I mean, they needed, their infrastructure was in very bad shape. And, I mean, it was, their rates were increased 83%. And that's something that you do not want the state to come in and say.
Yes, I agree.
You know,
Did the state mandate Watertown's increase, or
Yeah.
the state did
They
mandate that?
will, yeah.
They will, and part of this has to do with, we've had 2 consecutive years of having to go into the general fund of water and sewer, not the city, into his reserves to balance his budget.
Yeah.
Okay? One year was a error between directors where we got a project cost wrong, right?
I
And
remember
then,
that, yeah.
and then the next year, we ran over by doing extra work. So the rate increase is to cover what Duck River has implemented, that we ate
Over the years.
over the years. Even though it sounds like 2 years ago, we increased the rate, but before that, it was, I can't remember, it was several years.
Years and years.
I think
Okay.
there's been 2 rate increases in almost 20 years.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
But what I wanna know is, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, we increased tap fees and stuff
Yes,
too,
sir.
didn't we?
So, yeah.
Is that something we need to look at again?
Yes, sir. So I've actually I've got everything in our department. And it's just conquering one mountain at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
And you won't see that until probably September, October, because they have to go and get some credits and stuff they need to a conference in August. The water board's going, so that meeting will not happen. We won't meet again until September. But we didn't want to overwhelm everybody with one thing at a time. Now, the tap fees and stuff are more about growth and building and some other things. This just has to do with the rate that is gone up to us from our supplier, right? And then there was a lot of conversations as we compared ourselves to Tullahoma and some other things. That was just to show an example that we buy water at the same place. It wasn't to say we want to be Tullahoma. We're not trying to match Tullahoma rates. We're still below Tullahoma in rates, period, okay? We were just simply saying, we both pay for water at the same cost. We've just been delinquent in raising our rates. That's all it was.
Well, my standpoint, and Donnie, I respect your concern. And I don't enjoy paying a bill. I don't enjoy paying Jeff a bill any more than anyone else
I
does.
don't enjoy paying the bill myself.
But we can't have it both ways. You know, we've got a sewer system that still, it's vastly better than it was, but it still needs a lot of work.
So,
And we gotta fund that.
so again, you know, if you have any questions of the work that we're doing, the work that we have done, just like I told you yesterday.
Where I have the problem now is we're raising it 35%. And Hillsville is not getting it. I don't get that.
I mean,
I mean, I do understand what you're saying because
No, you
they're
can't.
under contract.
you can't, because they have got rate increases when the citizens didn't, period. There's no other way to justify it. We're not trying to catch up, or we're not trying to put, if you buy water from Hillsville compared to Manchester City, you're gonna pay 20% more, period. If you're a Hillsville customer, they are charging you what we charge them, plus they have to maintain their service. So it's truly not apples to apples when you're talking about the citizens that buy from different utilities. And I do understand the point that they're not getting this increase, but they got some when we didn't increase ours. And I don't know how else to justify it. You know, other than the fact that in May, Jeff's crews, which we have to have out there working, reduced the inflow of water into our system by 13 million gallons. That means we treated less water than we did the May before with more rainfall. June was another 2.5 million gallons. So all this work is paying off, and long-term, we probably, and I can't speak to how the rates are gonna go, but listen, the reason that the system's in the way it is because we didn't increase rates and we didn't have money to fix it.
It's the reason we're driving around in 30-year-old trucks.
100%. I mean, you know, it's not like we've been putting money in infrastructure of equipment and things to let them do their job better. So maybe we're deficient there. It's time that, like other departments, we invest back into the employees so that they can do more work. It's just like having the right tool for the job.
Well, the capital improvement projects warrant the rate increases. Again, like I told you yesterday, last night, you know, you can come sit down with me and I can show you a laundry list. I can show you everything that we've done and all the work that is still yet to be done of critical places in our sewer system that's leaking. I've got video, I've got all the data. And that's something that we are trying to continue the momentum of gathering data and going out and fixing leaks. One of the things that that our department desperately needs, for years they ran 4 crews of guys, or 4 crews with 3 guys, 3 or 4 guys. Now I have 2 crews of 3 to 4 guys. And so we're accomplishing this with 2 guys. When the winter months come and we start having water main problems, I'm not gonna have the manpower to focus solely on sewer. And so that's gonna set us back and enable us as a department to maintain the headway that we've made. I need more guys. I mean, we need equipment. There's so many deficiencies in our department with equipment, manpower, the infrastructure. I mean, the rate increase is necessary. And, I mean, that's about the best way I can justify it.
I'm going to add on to Director Perry's comments, and I've sat down with Director Perry more than once and gone over his capital improvements and kind of what's required. And to the finance department, this is just math. The bottom line is we're delinquent in some of the capital improvements over in the water sewer plant. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that we're delinquent in raising the rates to pay for these things. We've already passed a budget that includes these projects. If these rates are not, and I'm not gonna argue the percentage, I'm not arguing if 35%, I won't go there, or the methodology, doing this kind of all at once, we're kind of ripping the Band-Aid off all at once here, as opposed to a death by 1,000 cuts. Those are separate arguments for the rest of you, if you wanted to change that. But as far as the dollars that he's requiring for those capital improvements, let's be honest, the water sewer plant, those capital projects are they're capital intensive.
Mm-hmm.
They're not cheap. If we don't increase the rates some way, shape, or form, I'm gonna go back to Director Perry and ask him to reprioritize his improvement list and tell me what he's scratching off of there. Because it's just, that's the way it's gonna have to be. So it's one or the other. So, now whether you like this rate or the methodology with which it's being implemented, that's for all of you. But again, as far as the dollars go, it's gonna be required one way or another, or cancel some of these improvements.
Yeah. Well, and the truth of the matter is, there's no such thing as status quo. We're either improving and spending the money that it takes to improve, or it's getting worse. It's one of those two things. Jeff, I have the feeling that if you were able to make a decision by yourself, this 35% number would be higher.
If the state came in today, I can almost guarantee you And I'm guessing here, but I can guarantee you the 35% would probably be doubled.
And that's along the lines that I've thought.
And that's just my opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but I'll bet you I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
Seeing what has been done in other cities, and the state doesn't mess around, they will come on in and say, no, you require this much, the math says this,
Yeah.
up it.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the state telling us what to do. But again, Donnie, I see your side, and I respect what you're saying.
Well, you know, I think we got elderly people in this town that really can't afford this increase. That it affects them, that lives on fixed incomes.
Don't we have a program for that?
Yeah, they just need to come and apply.
Yeah.
I mean, we subsidize elderly people on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean, listen, it's unfortunate. And the other part of our business of the city is not ask for increases in any tax venue whatsoever, right? We're extremely balanced while we continue to buy better equipment for our people to work with. And if we could give some money to this side, we absolutely would, right? Through sales tax and property tax, but we cannot, right? This is a combination of trying to do a lot of work. You know, $9 million sounds like a ton of cash, but in water and sewer,
Goes fast.
it's a line from here to the ballpark, okay? And just imagine, as you get in closer to town, as we've discussed, clay pipes, older system, that all has to be addressed. We got off the state moratorium, we're under a self-imposed moratorium. Our goal is to get out from under it all, right? I think, and Director Perry can correct me if I'm wrong, we had no chronic manholes in the month of May. 0. So the work he's doing with his team is paying off, right? We were up to 20-something manholes at one time.
We had some good rains in May too.
We had more rain this May of almost 4 inches. It was 3-point-something.
3.69, I believe.
So it's not like we didn't have good rain to have it happen. But as you find all that infiltration that is getting taken out, and the way we measure that is at the plant. He has a meter on what he gets to the plant, and he had a meter on what he treats. The inflow to the plant was down 13 million gallons. So, there again, we can either sit and hope, or we can continue to move forward. And, you know, it's like we've talked about. We have been working on a 5-year plan, right? We're going to actually probably come back in the next 6 months and talk to you guys about borrowing some money, right? Which will not increase rates or anything, because he has debt that is going to pay off, and it will drop his payment down. And so we will take some borrowed money to continue our effort along with the rate increase.
And I mean, I do think we've been reasonably sensitive to the people of Manchester. You know, we haven't had some of the increases that our counterparts have had, property tax wise, some of those other things. I fear that if we let this go, it'll back us up considerably, so.
It's gotta be done. It's gonna stop. I know everybody, there are people in this city that would love to see progress stopped. But if we don't do this, it's gonna stop progress. If you stop progress and you don't sell sewer taps or water taps, and you don't get money coming into the system to help pay for what you need to do going out. And for, I'm not exactly sure of the number of years, but I'm gonna say 16, somewhere between 12 and 16 years, we haven't had a tax increase in the city. And the reason we haven't had a tax increase in the city, in my opinion, is because we have grown fast enough to increase our revenues that we haven't had to have a tax increase. So if we let this jam everything up, it's just a bad situation all the way around.
Yeah, it is.
I'd like to add, I mean, the current citizens of this city, this improves their quality of life. I mean, growth and everything is to the side, but what we're doing right now is positivity, I'll talk right in a minute, affecting their water, their wastewater. I mean, I live in one of the worst areas with the sewer system, and I've not seen a sewer manhole overflow in that area in months. And, you know, I have a lot of pride in riding by that, knowing, you know, that manhole those two manholes have not overflowed over the past 3-4 months now. So, I mean, this also, I mean, it positively affects the citizens of this city and the county now. And it will enable us to provide them with service, and also, I mean, to take a lot of the problems that has plagued this city and county for a long time. You know, it's enabling us to make it right.
And we focus a lot on sewer when we have these conversations, but our water loss, okay, which is water we buy versus water we don't sell, is a little high. Okay, that means we have leaks inside the system. So that is gonna continue to get worse if we don't, I mean, we have projects and things to address them, that we have to get better, right? We can't have big water losses, because that's water we pay for that we get no revenue back on. So that's the other side. I know a lot of heightened focus is on sewer, but our water loss on the water to the house side has grown in the last year or so, and we understand, and that's what we're addressing as well, so.
At one time, we were down 5%.
Now, we're probably in the teens, we're in the teens right now, okay? So we have some leaks inside the system that we have got to continually find and fix, and that is money to do, so.
And more crews.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I will go ahead and make the motion to pass this to Boma, 35% increase. Do I have a second?
Sure you do.
All right. We'll vote individually. Alderman Messick,
Aye.
Alderman Parsley. And I will vote aye. So 2-1.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
If y'all have any questions, I mean, feel free to reach out anytime.
Need to add the police back.
We passed
I
that.
took you
earlier.
off, you were gone, and so I apologize, but come on up. That was my fault, Bill, like you got a little started, so
We passed that earlier, didn't we?
we did.
I thought we did.
We're all reasonable people.
Yeah.
I enjoy listening to Chief Sop anyway.
All right. The floor's yours. And talk about computers.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So, we have a real need for in-car computers in our vehicles so that we can access critical data at our fingertips. It also allows our units to stay more visible on our roadways within the city. They're not having to come up here to complete the reports at the end of the shift. Sometimes there's not enough computers to even get that done. So this would make us much more effective in the city as far as getting our reports done in the field. And once again, we're more visible as well, being out there. And the data that we're getting off of these is we can run driver's licenses, tags. We can exchange pictures back and forth of potential suspects and things of that sort that we may come in contact with that can be shared among the officers much more quickly, much more effectively. And this is sort of the coming things in the police world. We're really behind in that area, so we're we're simply asking that we be able to proceed forward and maybe allocating monies toward that project. I can give you an estimate. I don't have those estimates in front of me, but we're looking at somewhere right around the $100,000 mark to equip 28 vehicles with computers, hardware, and software.
We took that out of the car monies where we're getting this
Yes,
right.
we left in, even though we purchased cars early last year where we had a surplus, we left in $160,000 in his budget as a line item for equipment. And that's what we're asking from the $100,000 is to let us use that money to equip 28 cars. Right now, currently in our county and everybody, we would probably be first besides the state troopers. We're just trying to elevate our folks to be able to do a better job, as we've been talking about, and it is in the budget for $160,000, and he would still have roughly 60 grand to purchase new type of equipment that he would need this year.
The average officer, how much more time will this allow him in the field in a 40-hour week?
Well, if you figure, generally the officers at the end of the shift will come in because they're very inundated with calls throughout the day, so that doesn't give them much time to come up here and complete their reports. I would say that the average officer spends roughly an hour at the end of the shift trying to get his reports
Okay.
done, as well as waiting on a machine to do the report.
Okay.
That's been a bit of an issue as
So
well.
that's just extra field time we get out of
Right.
that also.
And so that's 40 hours for one officer, you know, through
Yeah.
And the other side of it too, right, it's visible time. He can sit in a median, right, and if something happens, he can stop what he's doing and he can take control then. It just allows them to be more efficient and be more visible to the citizens, which is what we're after, right?
I'd be for this, even though it makes it harder on criminals like me.
Bill, I have a question. You said that the only one that's implemented this program, the state, of course, has this. But there's no one surrounding that has this implemented in their.
Yes, Tullahoma.
Tullahoma has it?
Yes.
Okay, I thought we'd be the first.
Well, we're behind at times. There's a lot of agencies that have this. I think the county actually utilizes Winsong.
Okay,
They have
you're
iPads.
speaking of.
Of the program itself.
Yeah.
The equipment, we have to have the equipment, but program-wise, our programming and stuff is a little out front, which is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So entertain a motion to,
We have the money in your budget.
Yes.
yeah. Entertain a motion to allow Chief to move forward.
You're looking at me, but Donnie can make that motion too.
Yeah.
But I will if he doesn't want
That's-
to.
No, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. 3-0. All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, that's the last item we have, I think. Alderman Parsley, anything to add?
No, I'm gonna look over and check all these rates right here, and I'm gonna do a little study. And I'm gonna get with you, Jeff, in the next day or so, too.
Alderman Messick?
Got nothing?
All right.
That's all I've got.
Anybody got a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.